Think fast. What's worse? Finding a man on TikTok, Instagram, or in person? Because they're all fucking bad. And let's get into it.
I be sliding on these tight beats, nigga talk like who she.
So guys, it's Ania's World, and I'm back in with another motherfucking YouTube video. Before we get into the YouTube video, please, you guys, the only thing I ask you for, it's free as fuck. It's a subscribe button. Hit that button right there, and let's get into it. Okay, you guys, I genuinely did not want to tell this story time until months after, but it's been 2 months since this situation, and I would rather talk about it, let it go, and just move on. I feel like I have not been moving on as much as I should. I'm still moving at my own pace. It's been 2 months since the situation happened. I didn't want to talk shit about this person on the internet, but I ended up making a story time on TikTok about it. 2, 3, 4 of them, perhaps. 4-parter. And I ended up deleting them because I was like, no, I don't want to tell it in this sense, because I was drunk as fuck and there was a lot of music playing in the background. Mind you, when I was drunk, I did not drink for like a month prior to that. So don't think I'm just this alcoholic that just always wakes up and drunk as fuck. I'm just lying. We are going to talk about the situation that I was just recently in with the guy that I met on TikTok. So let's get into the motherfucking story time. Like, comment, and subscribe. No judgment zone. We're not gonna judge. Let's put this on the floor right here. No judgment. Now let's talk about it. So this is going to start all the way in April. I got a follow from a guy. He did not have anything on his page. I did not see his face or anything like that. Usually when men like follow me on like Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, there's about to be a dog running in here. They follow me on all of those kind of social medias. They decide to shoot their shot at me in the DMs. He then went to my DMs on TikTok and texted me and said, "You're pretty, just want to say that." And then we dipped out. You know, nothing else, no other conversation. I say thank you. He follows me on Instagram. He like regularly comments on my TikToks. And even when I was in Arizona, he was commenting on my TikToks as well. And I just kind of like, okay, like he's cool. Like he just comments on my stuff all the time. He's a regular to the channel. He tunes in. So I didn't really think much of it until he decides to message me and tell me that he has a YouTube video coming out. Obviously, I do YouTube. And I don't ever want to be like, okay, like, why the fuck are you telling me? I would like to support people. Like, if you're one of my followers or you're somebody that does YouTube or does any of these things, please comment down your YouTube channel. I will subscribe and watch your videos. Just like him. He then tells me he has a YouTube channel, that I'm pretty, and all these kind of things, okay? I then go to his YouTube channel and I finally get to see this man's face. And once I get to see this man's face, I'm like, he looks very cute, okay? And this was a Wednesday. I'm so fucking dead ass. I'm gonna put the screenshots of me texting my friend. Actually, I can't even put the screenshots because I cannot stand seeing any type of messages talking about him after me and him broke up. Well, we didn't really break up. So I text my friend on Wednesday and I'm like, he is so cute. This is about to be my next victim, my man. Mind you, I try to be funny, okay? Don't fucking sue me. I said victim because I was like, this is about to be my next boyfriend. Like, because I never been in a relationship before. And at that time, a lot of men would just use me for my body. So I was like, this is about to be the next man that I fuck with, okay? Then starting to get like more interactive with his social medias because we would text on Instagram back and forth, and like he would post plants, hiking stuff, and I would just be like, oh, that looks so pretty, where is that at? And we would like just talk about hiking and plants and all of these things because that's what his channel was centered around. Him hiking, him being in nature. He was just this, in my eyes at the time, what I was seeing on social media, this sweet boy who was just very like nature, hiking, manifestation. I'm such a good person. Look at all of these books I'm reading. So he doesn't shoot his shot at me like in any of this. He just calls me pretty and he doesn't say anything else. So at this point, I'm like, he thinks I'm pretty. He doesn't flirt back with me. So I'm going to make it a point to like say, I'm interested as well now. Okay. So one day I see that he's posted something, and I was like, oh, where's this at? And I'm just like, haven't made any friends. I think we were talking about friends. We got to the point in the conversation where I'm just like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, do you want to go hiking or like go somewhere? And he's like, oh, I would definitely be down to. That's so cool. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, he lives in Georgia. Okay, I live in Atlanta. He lives somewhere in the outskirts. I don't fucking know. Well, I do know. Okay, and you'll see at the end. So I'm like, okay, cool. He says, I will hit you when I find the date, when I like make up the date. So he then texts me the next day. Mind you, I texted my friend that I want him to be one of my boyfriends on Wednesday. This is literally Saturday. Okay, so he texts me the date, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, here's my phone number if you ever need to reach out before. You know what I mean? So he ends up texting me on my phone number, and he's texting back quick as fuck immediately. Like, hey, we're both talking back and forth about life, about things that we like, just getting to know each other. And then he's like, let's just FaceTime. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's regular, that's normal. If we are texting back and forth, I would rather FaceTime so that we're not on like just texting the entire time. So I'm like, okay, cool. He then FaceTimes me, and we're talking on the phone, and immediately he's like, oh, you're so pretty. I never thought we would have been on the phone together before. Like, I never would have imagined this. You are so gorgeous. And just filling me with every single compliment that you could ever receive from a man, and just telling me like he never would have thought me and him would have been talking. I want to make this very clear in the beginning. We had a conversation where he said to me, I did not say anything to you because you're 21 and I'm 25. I did not want to seem like a predator. And at this point, we're just talking for like an hour or two. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I understand that. And that was a conversation about it. Like, it was, you're young, I'm a little bit older, but we just moved on from it. And in this entire time, we're talking about life. He's telling me about his family. And I get very comfortable with him very fast because, again, 2 months ago, I was in this mindset of I don't really receive this type of compliments or, oh my God, like this boy actually really does like me. Very low, bottom of the barrel type shit. So I'm like, oh my God, like he really does like me. Because now he's talking about relationships. He's talking about how he's in therapy, how he's just healing, and how he's been healing for the last 1.5 years, and that he got out of his relationship, like I think he said 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, and that he's just ready to be in another relationship. And I'm just like, okay, I'm believing every single thing he is saying. That night we even fall asleep on the phone together. Mind you, this is Saturday. Now we're talking about Sunday morning. Sunday morning, I wake up and I have something heavy on my heart that I needed to tell him. And I was going to tell him, period. But since he seems such like a nice, healed boy, I'm only calling him a boy because he's a fucking boy. You'll understand at the end. I wanted to come as healed and as honest as I could to this man. So the entire day, we're texting back and forth. Mind you, like, I go to the hospital regularly. I go get tested, STD tested. If I want to be fucking, I need to be clear. So I go get tested, all those kind of things. And he's texting me like, what are you doing? Hey, hi. Mind you, I'm not scared about me getting tested or anything like that. I just had some information that I had to tell him that every partner needs to know. So that night, after me shivering in my timbers and going to get tested just so I could show him my recent results and be like, oh my God, like I have nothing. Not like that. Like, I'm just saying I like to have safe sex, okay? And I was like, went to go get tested so that if me and him ever do fuck, I could be like, hey, here goes my recent results, all of these kind of things. So that night, I'm just like, I have some information to tell you. If you do not want to talk to me again after this, you do not have to talk to me. I tell him this, and he then, on FaceTime, looks me in my eyes and goes, Zania, I will never leave you because of this. I will never leave you. Like, why would you think that I would ever leave you? And we have a very, like, open conversation about this situation and the information that I told him. So he was never left out of the dark of anything that I ever went through in life. Never. I was always open and honest with him. So this night we were gonna watch Kai Cenat. This is how fucking recent it is. Kai's, Kevin Hart, and Drewski's live that night. So I'm like, okay, like, since I can't see you, like, and we're gonna have a movie night over FaceTime, I'm gonna send you some money. So I surprised him and sent him like $30 so that he could go get himself dinner and go get some snacks that me and him could go sit down and we could watch a movie together on FaceTime. So he's like, oh my God, I never had this happen to me before. You're so nice, thank you. So he go gets his snacks, I go hang out with my friend, and I get home and we're on FaceTime again, and I make a joke where I'm like, oh, since we can't watch this together, like, ha ha ha. And he's like, we could watch this together, like, what's your address? How far do you live? And he ended up coming over to my house. He was 30 minutes away from me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, this is a day and a half of us knowing each other, almost 2 days by the time that he came. So he comes over to my house and we're just talking. We hug. He's very cute in person. He's taller than me. I'm like, oh my God, this is everything I ever wanted. You know what I mean? A man who likes me and a man who's taller than me. Bottom of the barrel type of self-esteem. So at this point, you guys know when I first moved to Atlanta, I had a blow-up bed. I still had a blow-up bed when I met him. I had a blow-up bed, no furniture in my house. I had a blow-up bed and 2 chairs. Just something that I could throw out and pack my bags and go back to Arizona with. Because at this time, I wanted to go back to Arizona. I wanted to move back to Arizona because I did not know what was here for me anymore, okay? So he gets to my house. Mind you, I was in a deep depression because I just lost one of my guy friends and I lost another friend because of my respect, okay? They got cut off because of my respect, okay? But doesn't mean I can't be sad about it. I was sad as fuck about it, okay? So my entire house was dirty as fuck. Before he came, I had 40 minutes to clean up. I was cleaning up, pushed everything in my closet. It looked clean to me, but obviously if I have went weeks of not taking out my trash, barely eating, and just throwing everything to the side, it was just horrible. It was bad, but he didn't come into a dirty house until I turned the lights on, and then he seen it. So he gets to my house and he's okay with me having a blow up bed. He's like, I don't care, like, it's okay. Just give me the energy of, as long as we are together, I'm okay with everything, okay? So I had red lights on, and I have red lights on for everything. Like when I go to bed, when I'm just hanging out during the day, I love a good little red hue in my house. So he gets to my house and we obviously get into it. We start sleeping together. And I want to make this very clear again. We start sleeping together and we have another conversation. He is okay with it. All of these things. Just saying all of these things, okay? So we are fucking the entire day. Okay, we are fucking every day. The entire fucking day. And he calls out of work, I call out of work, we spend the Sunday together. Mind you, when he came over, we fucked and then we fucked again, and he was holding me in his arms. And he's talking about his dead family members, his dead dad, his dead aunt, his dead friends. And I am just sitting here holding him, feeling so much empathy for him, as I could say, because he's not lying. Like, I don't know if he's lying or not. I don't fucking know. I really don't know at this point. I don't know anything, if anything he told me was the truth. So he's just holding me and he starts crying on me while he's telling me about his dead family members and how he's been healing and all of these things. And simultaneously, he's also telling me that he wants to move in together, that he wants to be in a relationship, he wants to move in together, and that I'm going to be his future wife, okay? And how he doesn't he dates to marry, he doesn't date, all of these things. So we are 2 days into knowing each other. He's already talking about marriage, moving in together, and all of these things. So mind you, I had this hiking trail by my house that I wanted us both to go to. So we get up like at, I think, like 6 or 7. So we get up and we are walking towards the hiking spot, and we're talking about life and all of these things. And I took a picture of him. When I took a picture of him, I posted to my close friends, and I'm like, my new boyfriend, right? And I'm laughing about it. And I even show him it. He even sees it, okay? And he's like, oh, I'm okay with you posting me, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I took another picture of him, and I post his face on my close friends. And I'm like, my man, okay? No, actually, it was a picture of us kissing together, okay? And I posted on my close friends. Mind you, I only have 30 to 40 people. So he's like, I'm okay with being posted, like, all cheerful. Like, he was okay with it, okay? So we get back from the hike, and we're talking about eating, getting some coffee, and we go and we stop at Dunkin' Donuts. We get into Dunkin' Donuts, and he goes, I make a joke to him, and I'm like, you can't say you love something about me, because when I said I love something about you, mind you, I was talking in the instance of like, I love that you do this. It's like, you can't say that to me because you got weirded out when I said it to you. And he was like, ha ha ha, Zania, like, I'm in love with you. Like, I love you, Zania. And this man is sitting here after us knowing each other for 3 days, 2.5 days, almost 3. He then tells me how in love he is with me and how he just loves me, okay? And I say back to him, because I've been in a lot of love bombing instances, and I knew it was love bombing, but the only thing I ever wanted from him, or wanted from any man that I've ever been with, was to love me. And I thought that this man came to me so healed. He even cried on me. He was being so vulnerable, that this was what love was. He loved me, okay? He loved me. I swear he did. That's what he said. He said he loved me, so I believed that he loved me. What? Like, what? So I said I was in love with him too, because at this point, I never had anybody who ever accepted me for truly who I was and didn't only want to use me for my body or sex. And I had a man not only being so clear with his boundaries, clear on what he wants from me, he was very honest and open. He wanted a relationship. He wanted to be married. He wanted to move in, and that's what he was going to do while we were together. We're in this Dunkin's, and I'm like, okay, so he's in love with me. And I just told him I loved him back. And he keeps telling me he loves me, so obviously it's true. He loves me. Go to my house, and we end up staying the entire day together, and he ends up leaving that night. Once he leaves, I start having a lot of panic attacks. My body just is not fucking with this. Like, my anxiety is going off. I'm anxious because I think he is lying to me. I don't believe that he loves me. I think that this is all a ploy and that he's gonna try to leave me, okay? I tell my friends, because my friends seen my close friends. They're like, who is this? How do you meet him? And I'm like, this is my new man. Like, we're gonna be together one day. Like, he's gonna ask me out around Miami time. Like, after I get back from Miami, we're gonna go out with each other. And I just feel it in my bones that this is real, okay? So we're talking every day. He's falling asleep on the phone with me, but simultaneously, while he's telling me how much he loves me and wants to be with me, I'm also feeling like he is lying to me. I then go to one of my coworkers, because she's like, ha ha ha, we're talking. I'm like, I have a man. And she's like, bitch, you have a man? I'm like, but he told me about all of these dead people in his family, and I knew I had something wrong with me because I felt like he was lying to me. And it's not that I don't believe that they're dead. It's just that the feeling of how fast he was just telling me his entire life and how his life was so sad. And I just didn't know what was off about this situation, but I thought it was real. So every single day I'm having panic attacks, and he's just telling me how much he loves me and how he's going to therapy, how he's been to therapy, right? And I start going, okay, I need to change for this man. I need to upgrade my life, because not only do I have somebody who's healed and who is coming to my life being so honest with me, I need to be honest with myself. So I'm like, bitch, are we leaving Atlanta or not? Are we going to Arizona or not? And I go, I'm gonna stay in Atlanta. I need to stay in Atlanta. So then I'm like, if I'm gonna stay in Atlanta, I need a bed, I need a couch, I need all of these things. And I'm like, I want this man to be able to come to my house and not only feel comfortable in my house, but see me in a healthy state. And me having a dirty fucking house, gnats everywhere because I haven't taken out the trash, I haven't had the mental health to do a lot of things. I don't want him to see me like that. So I immediately go and buy a bed. I go to IKEA. I'm over here shopping in IKEA just so that I can have a bed, I can have side tables, I could do all of these things for a fucking man, okay? And he's calling me every single night. He's texting me every single morning, telling me good morning, how much he loves me, how he's so happy, loves me, how much he wants to be with me. And I am believing everything that he says, okay? And I post a TikTok, saying, ha ha ha, once I meet a man, I go through a man's phone, okay? I go through a man's phone so I can understand what I'm walking into, okay? That's what I say on TikTok. And he ends up coming to my house that Saturday. And when he comes over, like, obviously we get to hunching, and then he brings up the TikTok. Like, I seen your TikTok, you go through men's phone, let me show you this. So he starts scrolling through his phone, going through every single contact he had. Mind you, he had like 10, 15 contacts. He's explaining every single person in his phone, how this is his girl best friend, his guy best friend, this is his boss. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. He then goes to his Instagram. This is my girl best friend. I don't have a lot of Instagram DMs. And then he goes to his text messages. This is my group chat. This is that. And I'm just like, okay. And then he goes to his TikTok. And at this point, he asks us to go through my phone. And once he starts going through my phone, he's going through my contacts. And at my contacts, it's obviously, I have like 200, 300 contacts because I don't delete shit. So like, ex-boyfriend in there, the dude I used to talk to, security, Dolly security, and it's just like a whole bunch of people because I didn't delete nothing on my phone. So again, this is me being open and honest about everything in my life. He goes through my DMs, he sees everybody that I've been flirting with. I don't gotta delete shit. You seen it, babes. He goes through my TikTok, and this is where we're going to stop the motherfucking story time. It's just gonna be a 2-parter. Please, y'all, just follow along. With that being said, I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.